Here's a Super Nintendo controller. Alright, you know what I mean. The controller has 4 main buttons, A, B, X, and Y. In most games, the B button is the most important because of how accessible it is. You wouldn't want to drag your thumb to X just to jump. Kirby Super Star is no exception to this rule. The B button is definitely the most important, as it allows you to jump, fly, and to slide. I don't see this game ever being possible to complete without any B presses, so what would the absolute minimum amount of B presses be? This challenge really opened up my eyes to the different ways of moving around in Kirby Super Star that don't require the B button. Some parts can be very frustrating and difficult, and others can be extremely irritating knowing that there's likely no way to get past them without pressing that button. If it seems like I already have a lot of knowledge about this game during my clips, it is because I've been speedrunning Kirby Super Star since 2016 and have learned quite a bit about the mechanics throughout the years. Let's begin. So, just like a normal any percent run, let's start off with Dynablade. The first stage was going pretty good. The first room obviously required no B presses. At first I thought the second room was going to require some until I realized if you get a proper RNG pattern, you can lure this Waddle Doo down to the Parasol Waddle Dee and mix for Jet. Now we can take advantage of this strategy I found where you can bonk into walls to gain height. I bonked into the walls and shot my way into the next room. In this third room you need to get a pretty good shot with Jet, and here is where my first B press happens. I couldn't think of any way to get around here without pressing B, so I just flew with Jet. Also, instead of having 2 B presses, you can save one by simply getting some height with Jet and then holding B when you start to fall. This next room required no B presses because you could take advantage of the bonking technique to proceed onwards. I did the mini boss, then bonked into the wall, into the door to complete the level. Dyna 2. At first, I was not certain I could get up these steps without pressing B, but then realized I could suplex the enemies from behind to gain some extra height. No B presses were required for the next room, and I went on to the auto-scroller. I need to get up here, so unfortunately I pressed B twice to super jump. Once again, I probably could have bonked here to avoid pressing B, but the fact that the room was an auto-scroller made doing that very difficult, so I simply jumped again and broke the blocks to get to the star. Simple room obviously. Next room was fairly easy and didn't require any extra B presses. I just got through, beat the mini boss, and flew to the door to beat the level. Dyna 3. I had to do some annoying bonking thing here, but I got through the first 2 rooms pretty easily with no B presses. But I don't know, man, the first was kinda difficult. Next room was pretty simple, I just flew across. The one after this was also fairly simple, nearly identical to what you would do here in a speedrun. The blue room, however, was kind of annoying. After climbing the ladder, I bonked into the wall and hit the star to progress. I beat the mini boss in the next room, entered the door, and beat Dyna 3 without any B presses. Dyna 4. It was pretty hard to bonk in the walls here because of the slopes, but I eventually did it and got through the first room. The next room, I tried everything I could but just couldn't think of a way to progress without holding B. While it was pretty annoying and precise, I was able to bonk into the walls in the next room to make it up, and taking a hit here actually helped me a little bit. Did some bonking in the room after this one, and once again, I unfortunately couldn't think of a way to progress here without holding B, so I had to add another press. I did the ladder thing in the next room, and it was time for the boss rush. Nothing added to the challenge here really, except for the hardest boss of them all, the door. It was way too high, resulting in another B press. It was almost time for the Dynablade battle itself, and I need to add an extra B press here because the warp star was too high. The boss itself didn't require any B presses, however. I threw the star and completed Dynablade. Revenge of Mendonite, and I'll be honest, at first I was worried here because I thought I would need to hold B for each text box to get through them, but then realized the Y and X buttons also work. I've always used B. I mixed for Jet, and unfortunately I need to add another B press because the gate moves way too fast for me to bonk and get through. I got through the next room, the lobster cutscene, and then went to the Grape Gardens area. No B presses here, and luckily I didn't lose Jet. I did the mini boss and moved on to the next room. I waited for the crash enemy to explode, then bumped into the wall to get through. The auto-scroller was next, and just like every auto-scroller in the game, it was annoying. I need to add the B press to get height, and another B press to get onto the platform. Now, this is another one of those rooms I'm still uncertain about. It may be possible to get through without any B presses, but the auto-scroller obviously makes that pretty challenging. The Twin Woods boss is unchanged. I did some epic tree kicking and did a jet charge to get onto the star. The next room was easy, but the room after this was a bit challenging to do without pressing B. It required a ton of bonking, the attacks were very annoying and I fell down quite a bit. I spent so much time here that on one of my attempts I actually died because of the time limit hitting 0. I did a jet charge to get onto the platform, did a suplex with the Poppy Bro to get onto the other one, and moved on to the mini boss. After the mini boss, I need to do a lot of bonking once again, and the timing here was pretty specific. Unfortunately, I need to add another B press to fly up, another one to break the bomb block, and yet another one to actually jump up. I tested the room after this to see if there was any possible way I could get through it without pressing B, but unfortunately I couldn't find anything, so we need to add another press to the counter because I need to fly up. After this room, I need to get inside the cannon, but it was just too fast for me to jump into it without pressing B, so I need to add another one. Needless to say, this section was pretty bad. The room after this one, I was able to complete without any B presses, but the timing for the bonking was pretty precise. The mini bosses were free and so was the elevator room. I bonked into the wall after this to get to the suplex and Poppy Bro mini boss, bonked once again to get to the cannon boss, but before I actually did the boss, I needed to press the B button because the door was too high. The cannon boss is pretty easy without pressing B, but it's also kind of hard to not take damage on it. The room after this is also easy, just a lot of jet spamming. Speaking of jet, there's also some jet enemies here if you happen to lose the ability beforehand, which is pretty useful. After breaking the bomb blocks, I did another B press for height to break the next bomb block to finish the room. I am very positive this room could be completed without any B presses, but it's so easy to lose Jet here or fall because of the wind. I just was not able to do it because of the bed. I beat the mini boss, then bonked into the warp star. One of the hardest B presses I need to skip was next. The timing for this one is absolutely ridiculous, but eventually I was able to do it, and heavy lobster was next. I am once again pretty sure this could be complete without any B presses, at most maybe one, but the fact that this is an auto scroller made it very difficult to do so I pressed B once again to get through the first part, guarded, and then pressed B again to fly to the top. The boss itself wasn't any different without the B button, so I got through it fairly easily. I did the next room. In a speedrun I would normally get plasma here, but I was obviously going to need to keep Jet for this challenge. I got through the room after this without B presses pretty easily, and yeah, the Jet Cracker is very useful in situations like these. After this, it was time for the reactor boss. This fight is completely possible without B presses, however it is extremely hard to do so without taking a hit since you are pretty much stuck to the ground. I managed to do it, but my health was dangerously low in the end. Yet another auto scroller room was next. This is definitely possible without B presses, but I unfortunately had to press B twice here because auto scrollers are very annoying. I did the last mini boss here and went on to the Meta Knight battle. I used Jet instead of Sword, beat him very easily, and unfortunately the wheel section was next. I don't think there is any possible way this can be complete without B presses, and unfortunately it seems you have to press B at least 4 times here to get through. Great Cave Offensive, the shortest section of an any percent playthrough, so let's go over it quick. First room was very challenging to do without B presses. I'm actually shocked I managed to do it. I got the fighter ability to make a partner just to jump on it, which obviously counted as a B press. I broke the bomb blocks after this and need to jump again to get onto the next platform. After this, I ate the wing enemy and did a dive bomb to get onto the next platform. The dive bombs with wing were very helpful here, and I got through this room with 0 B presses. The next room, I once again did another dive bomb to save B presses. I waited for this Waddle Dee to go past me and did a spin move to help me get onto the next platform. Very hard mini boss here. In the room after this one, I did 1 B press to get through it and wing streamed across. I'm pretty sure at least 1 press is required here in order to get through it with wing at least. I want to get the jet ability, so I bonked against a wall and did a couple dive bombs. I did the whale boss and it was kind of annoying because I couldn't jump, causing me to get hit, but I did get through it pretty easily besides this. I did the cart section, bonked into the walls to save presses, and there was also another part here that required really precise timing, but I got through it eventually. The Battle Windows fight was next. It took a little bit longer since I was unable to one-cycle the puppet, but no extra challenge here really. I did the minecart section, did the next minecart section. This one I actually did take the cart though because it was easier to avoid pressing B this way. Quick room, quick room, quick room, quick room, quick room, quick room. The Wham Bam fight also took a little bit longer because I couldn't jump. I took advantage of the Japanese version exclusive glitch by hitting the hands while they were off screen. I rode the minecart again, got through the elevator room, and unfortunately I need to press B again to complete the cave. Milky Way Wishes. I need to do Sky High first because Jet is here and... yeah, very unfortunate. This wasn't it, however. I actually need to press B 2 more times to actually get to the room where Jet was. After this, Sky High was pretty free. I just went through the doors, did the Krakow fight, which took a bit long because I couldn't jump, and beat the stage. Hot Beat was the next stage, and this stage was bad. My first B press was done here to reach a certain platform, and my next was to get height since I couldn't bonk off the lava. My third B press was done here to reach the top of the area, and after this, I entered the door. I went through this next room and used the invincibility frames to my advantage and was able to complete it without any B presses. The room after this one, however, was much more annoying. I need to do 2 B presses to make it to the cannons, and then went to the boss. This boss once again took longer than normal since I couldn't jump, and it did also cause me to take damage, but I beat it eventually. Mecha. First room. Second room, did some bonking here, and taking damage from the Gordo actually helped me reach the cannon, so I appreciate it. The room after this one was somewhat annoying. I need to do a lot of damage boosting here to make it through, and I was surprisingly able to get through the gates without pressing B at all. After this, I got Plasma since it's good for battles. I did the mini boss after this and fought Heavy Lobster again. Much easier with Plasma here, got through it quickly. Cavios was trying to bonk here, but then realized there was a ladder. I did the Kawasaki mini boss and then had to do another precise bonk to save a B press, which was annoying. Fought the Poppy Burrow mini boss, fought the Bonkers, and then got Hammer. Fought the Bugsy, and then went to the next room. This room required a lot of bonking to get up. I also ended up using the water to my advantage and suplexing the squid to get up. I then went to fight Wham Bam. Again, Floria. Very quick planet as usual. I entered the first door twice to go to autumn, entered the second door once to go to winter, and entered the third door 3 times to go back to autumn and bonked my way up to fight Twinwoods again. Aqualus. Swam, bonked, swam some more, and went to the whale. I find using Jet in this fight easier, so I kept it and beat it. Half Moon. I did 1 A press to fly all the way to the top and then started jet stringing and bonking to get to the end of the room. I used the cart, bonked, used the other cart, and then fought the mini boss. This was very surprising to me, but the next room wants you to hold down B so bad, but it is possible to make your way up with jet strings. As you can see, it does take quite a bit of time, however. After this, I fought Battle Windows again and used Hammer. This fight was completely unchanged. And Heart of Nova. Completely unchanged, but as scary as usual. For some reason, I did the speedrun strat here, which makes you lose health. I don't know why I did that because I ended up dying on marks. I did end up beating marks without pressing B by using both both jet and plasma, but unfortunately I was having an encoding overload here which caused the video to get all messed up, so all I have for proof is the sound that plays when you beat marks. Is that good enough? The footage of the credits is completely fine though. My luck is horrible. So in total, this ended up taking 38 beat presses. Obviously this can be done in even less with more optimizations. There may even be more powers you could take advantage of to save presses, and possibly even more strats I never even considered. With my current strats, I'd say the minimum would be around the 35 area, but who knows, it could possibly be brought down much further than that. If anyone has any ideas on how even more beat presses could possibly be cut out of the run, let me know in the comments below. I'm very curious. See this B button?